Hey everyone, good evening. Let me just set up my computer first. Oh, hi Larry, hi Danielle. We have Danielle Dublin. Hi
Hi
Danielle.
there.
Hi Larry. How are you?
Great, I guess.
Awesome. We also have hi Daryl, Sir Daryl. How are you?
Hi, good evening po. I'm doing well po. How are you doing po?
Doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope everything is okay there in Manila. You're practicing as a doctor, right? Am I correct?
Yes po, sir. Thank you po for
I
asking.
I see. Okay, stay safe. And Philip, hi Philip. Glad you could join.
Yeah, for the first time. Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just pull up my slide. Okay, there it is. We also have Nicole. Hi, Nicole. You made it. How are you? Oops. Awesome. Okay. All right. So we'll just maybe wait for a few more seconds before we start. And I'm gonna need two volunteers to read the story for tonight. And guys, let me know if you can hear me still or not, because I'm not sure with my internet if it's working fine. But let's see.
Okay, Kev.
All right. Okay, I think we can start now. So, welcome everyone and good evening. So, it's a Friday, it's a beautiful Friday. And this is member supported Land Buddhism Center of the Philippines. My name is Kevin. I'm one of the junior teachers. And we welcome you all here. Actually, it's really nice to see familiar faces and new faces in the session. So, this is a session that will basically cover this book on the left, something you forgot along the way. Actually, tonight is the last story for this book. So after this, we're gonna move on to this the book on the right that is called Unshakable Spirit. So hooray! It's the last story. It's story number 65. So I'm gonna need two volunteers to read the story. Let me see. Okay, here's our story. Can you see the story? If someone could,
Yes,
yeah, if someone could start on the first part, highlighted in green, that would be great.
let me yeah. Can I?
Sure, Larry. Sure.
Okay. Long ago, there were two merchants. Wait, again. Long ago, there were two merchants who always crossed a narrow mountain pass with dry goods loaded on their backs. One day, one of them plopped down on a rock by the roadside. Exhausting, isn't it? He sighed. Let's rest for a while. You know, if only this mountain pass weren't so high, we could cross it easily and make more money. He looked up balefully at the steep pass. I disagree, replied his companion. In fact, I wish this pass were higher and steeper.
All right, thank you, Larry. So the story starts with two merchants who were always crossing a narrow mountain pass. And one day, one of them was, one of them said, "It's tiring. It's exhausting, isn't it?" And so let's rest for a while. So the other person was starting to feel tired. So he was wondering, maybe we could cross, if there's just an easier way, maybe our lives would be less tiring. But the other person said, I disagree. You know, in fact, I wish this pass were higher and steeper. So does anyone want to continue reading the next part? This one? Is anyone available to read?
The next part I can read.
Sure, go ahead, Philip.
Okay, so you do? Said the first man in astonishment. Whatever for? Do you enjoy suffering? How strange. His companion explained, if this pass were easy to cross, everybody would use it to do business and our profits would go down. If it were higher and steeper, no one would cross it, and our business would prosper even more. Successful tradesmen must not only astute in business but bold in endeavor. Successful is Success is the fruit of one's effort. All that comes easy is poverty and shame. The harder the task, the more glorious the triumph.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Philip and Larry, for reading. So it says here, successful tradesmen must not must be not only astute in business, but bold in endeavor. Success is the fruit of one's effort. All that comes easy is poverty and shame. The harder the task, the more glorious the triumph. So, by the way, let me just greet the new people who joined. We have Donna Bandiola. Is this you, Candy? Or maybe not?
Yes.
Oh, hi, you made it. Glad you could join. Hi. Awesome.
Hi.
We also have Elaine Bermudez. Hi, Elaine. And Ramus Calves. Hi, guys.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, hi. Glad to see you here. Glad to
First
see you.
timer. Yeah,
Awesome.
ready to be
Great.
here.
Right. So, guys, if you have any questions or feedback at any time, feel free to post it on Zoom or on Skype if you're on Skype or on the Facebook group messenger, and we will get back to them later. Okay. So let's continue. So let me just minimize my screen here. So I'm gonna show you some famous people who were very successful, but they have encountered some really difficult challenges in their lives. So let's start with the first one. It's Milton Hershey, and we all love chocolates, right? I don't know if someone else, or I don't know if there exists an allergy for chocolates, but that would be really unfortunate. But here, Milton Hershey, before launching his first own candy business, he had worked for a local candy factory, and he had failed several times. I think more than twice. And then he returned triumphant with his product, which is the Hershey's. And then we have the famous Albert Einstein. Now, despite being known as a true genius as he is, and he is known as he made the theory of general relativity famous. As a kid he didn't begin to speak a word until he was 4 years old. Could you believe that? Someone like him. But a few years later, his elementary school teachers considered him lazy because he would ask really deep questions that made no sense to others, So, however, he kept on anyway, regardless if the teachers or friends considered him weird or, really eccentric. He kept on, he kept moving on. He pursued his passion in science. And then eventually he became famous the way he is now, right? And next is we have Benjamin Franklin. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with him. He invented the lightning rod. But his actually with Benjamin, his family could not afford to finance his education, and he stopped. He initially stopped. However, he did not give up. He continued reading books and on and on and on. He went to libraries, and now he became successful. Even if he stopped for a while on his education, he proved that making effort is what matters. And then I'm sure you know Oprah Winfrey, right? Now with Oprah Winfrey, it's actually a sad story. For many people, losing a child is really not a good experience. It's so bad. It's terrible. So Oprah lived through this really hellish reality after giving birth at 14 years old. At such a very young age. So she managed not just to overcome this, but she was also repeatedly molested by her cousin, uncle, and a family friend. So she had a lot, of suffering in the past. However, despite of this, despite of her tragic past, she has worked hard to become a successful person, and she is now has a net worth of 2.9 billion. So that's Oprah. And last, we have Thomas Edison. Now, Edison, maybe I would say he is the king of those who have failed a lot. There's even a successful quote from him that says, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Because he was trying to invent his functional light bulb, but it failed a lot. But with his continuous efforts, he became successful. So I know you guys are you have a list of your idols, who are really successful. You look up to them, and I know you can name some people as well. Maybe in the Philippines or in other countries. So if you know someone, feel free to post them on Zoom or Skype so we can check them out as well. So if we really are serious with the goals that we have, if you want to lose weight, if you want to be successful in life, if you want more cash flow, if we want those to become a reality, we must put in the effort required to make it happen, right? We cannot expect great results when all we do is wishful thinking. And this is wishful thinking is not so bad actually. It's important, and this is part of the planning process, right? This is where you think. This is where the ideas come. But if we just keep on doing this, just wishful thinking, nothing's gonna happen. So we need to take action and make the efforts. And before we continue, do you guys have any questions, or is everything okay so far? Any feedback? None? Can you still hear me, or I think everyone's okay? Awesome. So great. So we have TJ as well. Hi, TJ. Glad you could join. We have Lay. Hi, Lay.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi, TJ. So let's continue. And Jemmy. Hi, Jemmy. Nice to see you here. All right. So these were the people I showed earlier. And again, let me know if you know anyone who is really successful and had suffered a lot in the past. Because we all know one person. Could be your friend. It could be someone. Could be you. Who knows, right? Um. So yeah. So people who have a lot in life know the importance of saving versus spending money as soon as it's earned. They plan ahead for great fun, but they also build a safety net of their assets in case misfortune should arise. They do, and we're talking about successful people, okay? So they do vast amounts of research to learn their trade and master life. They go to college, earn extra degrees, earn their master's, their PhD. They put in the foundation required, to really achieve their goals. They travel great distances, often using their own money to get the education or resources they need for success. Now, it doesn't mean that when we say travel, it's just international travel, meeting uh, new business prospects abroad. It can be a side hustle. Like this is a huge um, shout out to our fellow Filipinos who have been working hard doing side hustles, like Food Panda, for example. Especially during the pandemic, they did a really good job in making sure that we are getting our basic needs. This is actually a side hustle, and I know that you've seen some news in the local news that some celebrities and famous people have gone doing side hustles by delivering food. So that's really great. A side hustle is important. It's also really a great effort if you want more income to be successful with your goals in life. And successful people, they are friendly and they reach out to many different people, establishing valuable connections, contacts in many different fields. In Buddhism, harmony is really important. You know, um, we are always advised to be harmonious with people, be friendly with them, give a warm smile, give a friendly smile, have a warm gaze to the people you meet, because it's positive energy that we're giving out. So successful people, they make the effort, to be constantly be harmonious with the people they meet. They're friendly, they are warm. So do you know someone who I know you know someone who is a person of a very positive person. So we have them. If you have them in your lives, in your circle, then you're lucky because their energy is so contagious, right? And successful people, they put in the effort to follow through on their promises. So in return, people trust and respect them for that. So if you keep on breaking your promises, you lose trust. From regardless if it's a friend, if it's a business partner, eventually, if you keep on breaking your promises, you will lose their trust. But it's the opposite. If you keep on really making the effort to keep your word, if you follow through your promises, you gain more trust from people and you become more successful, right? And then whether they feel good or bad, depending on the mood, they make the effort to carry a strong smile to everyone they meet. And this is tough for most people. If someone is in a bad mood, they just automatically just show their their frown or disappointment to everyone. But successful people are resilient. They still carry a strong smile to everyone, especially their clients and their customers. Right? It's really important. So in Buddhism, this is really a good deed. It's showing positivity to people. It's being resilient. Any questions so far before we proceed? Let me check the comments first.
None.
None so far? Okay. So let me tell you about the iceberg illusion. So, an iceberg, right? This is an example of an iceberg. The tip of an iceberg is quite small in proportion compared to what's underneath, you know? So what we see when we see a successful person, we only look at what's on the tip. We only identify it as the success. This is what people see, right? However, underneath like this, the persistence, the constant failure, the sacrifices, the disappointments, the hard work, we don't see that in front of us right away, right? All others see around successful people is the luxury that the rich live their lives in. We think, oh, they're just enjoying their lives. They're happy-go-lucky. They don't have problems. But underneath the iceberg is their efforts, their sacrifices, right? So some people, they fail to recognize or understand the great effort that was put behind the scenes. Okay. So we see the success. This is another great image that I got online. We see the success, but not the work that went into it. The unseen hours, the necessary failures, setbacks, crisis of confidence, the not house. So it goes. There are many examples we can think of. Like late nights, etc. So this is what we don't see, and this is what we normally see. Then you might think, well, Kevin, some people are born rich. However, it takes wisdom not to lose it at all as an adult. So do you ever wonder why so many people who win the lottery go bankrupt? And we heard a lot of documentaries on this in the Philippines. I think I saw this maybe 10 years ago. Someone won the lottery, but after like 6 months, he got bankrupt and he lost all the money. And this is because being rich doesn't automatically make you financially secure or magically better at managing a budget. In reality, the more you have, the more we have, the more it is difficult to manage. Do you guys agree? Say, do you agree with this, or what are your thoughts? Is having, like, I don't know, 70 million pesos, does it guarantee that a person will be rich for the rest of his life?
Nope, not at all.
Yes. So because it takes um expertise, and it takes really it takes wisdom to have to maintain that kind of money to be financially secure. So know that the only way to get your biggest dream to come true is to strive higher and higher than everyone else every day. So let's go back to the story. There were two merchants, right? The first merchant was asking, this is too much suffering. I want an easier path. And then the second merchant told him, you know, I would rather have a more difficult path, because if it were easy, then many people, we're not going to be successful with our business, because many people are going to get into it. So really, um, much reward is going to go back to us if we if we go through the hard path. So reach toward that 100% more than anyone else does. Only through serious, concentrated practice can we expect a dramatic, life-changing breakthrough. So we can do it. But there's something I want to add here real quick. Um, I just want to make sure that the balance is important here as well. So it's advisable for us to do our best, put in the work, but make sure that we get enough sleep, we get enough rest, we get our R&R, our rest and relaxation. So that's important as well. So however, if we get too much rest, if we get too much sleep, what happens, right? We get dizzy, we have headaches. So the balance is really the key. So the message of this story for tonight is not just to keep on hustling and keep on working hard, but also there should be balance, right? So Sakyamuni Buddha revealed the law of cause and effect to us, so we can see that we ourselves, each of us here in the class now, we determine our future by our own choices now. So he taught the law of cause and effect, and actually these three lines here represent universal truth. So which means this applies everywhere throughout the entire universe. So I'm sure you all know, you've heard about the plans of Elon Musk. He's now pioneering, colonizing Mars. So even if maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 years from now, even if humans will go to Mars, uh, they will still be, the law of cause and effect is still there. Because it's everywhere throughout the universe. So this is the law of cause and effect. Good deeds bring good results. Bad deeds bring bad results, and your own deeds bring your own results. In other words, practice good actions and you will get good outcomes. Practice bad actions and you will get bad outcomes. And whatever you practice is what you alone will receive. So this is what the law of cause and effect teaches, which was taught by Sakyamuni Buddha. So we are about to end the session. Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to share? We have about a few minutes left. Oh, we also have Ray. Hi, Ray. Glad to see you here. How are you,
Yeah,
Ray?
sorry, I'm late.
It's
I'm
okay.
good.
No problem.
Sorry, I'm late.
It's all right. So, any other questions, guys? Or does anyone want to maybe introduce themselves for a minute? Say hi. Okay.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Hi,
Let
Remus.
me,
Yes.
yeah, let me turn the video on. Hi.
So this is my first time, and I guess I speak for myself, and I think many would think the same. You said earlier when like you always strive to gear for success, and then not forget about the R&R, the balance of taking the time for yourself. But I believe, especially now in this time, the real challenge. I think any other time, the real challenge is what's the balance, right? It's really understanding where does the line stand, or how do you jump from extremely motivated and driven and then doing, I don't know, 60 hours. I was doing 60 hours a week last when I was working, and it drove me to a point where I burnt out and I left my job. And then if there was a moment when I could have managed it some way somehow, then it wouldn't end up there. So it really is, although what you said is true, and I agree, it's really finding that balance. It's not easy.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's great insight, because the balance that we have, it's actually unique to every person. We have different
Yeah.
personality. We have different ways of coping. Our EQ, our emotional intelligence, is also varies per person. So yeah, absolutely, you're right. So the balance is important, and it varies from person to person. Yeah. And let me see here. So yeah, thank you for your insights. Let me see the chat. Yes, Larry. Larry says fighting. Yes, that's right. So yeah, so if you let's try to wrap up now. If you continue to listen to Buddhism, you'll be a happier person. This is true. I can speak on this for myself. If you continue to listen and put into practice what you've learned in Buddhism, you'll be a happier person. Um, You'll also learn about absolute happiness, which is true peace of mind that is full of satisfaction and does not fade, even in the face of old age, illness, and death. So there is so much in the Buddhist teachings that are very practical and will be of great help with our daily lives, especially now in this very challenging phase in our lives. So I wish you can continue listening to more of our talks. And yeah, this is Kevin. Nice to meet you all. And if you have any questions, by the way, if you have anything you want to share, this is actually not the end of this conversation. Um, oops. You can message me on Facebook. You can message us on Skype if you have any questions or clarifications. So yeah, that would be all for tonight. And glad you could all join.
Thank
Right.
you, Kev.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
guys.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Kevin.
Thank you, Tasha.
Kevin.
Welcome. Bye bye.
Thank you, Kev.